So today we're gonna go over prospecting and outsourcing. The greatest thing about these two is when you put them together, it fully removes you from the process until you actually get to the demo call. Once you get to the demo call, that's when we're actually gonna be making the sale and closing the client and getting that sweet reoccurring revenue. So I'm gonna jump straight over to Figma. I've created this awesome flowchart for you guys. We're gonna go over exactly how to go through this step by step so you can have the best success plan. Now, this does look a little daunting looking at it right now, but we're just gonna zoom in and just take one thing at a time. For prospecting and outsourcing, we're gonna go ahead and make sure we pick a good niche, okay? Now, this niche can be anything. For these examples, I do like to use HVAC, so that's what we're gonna go with. Once you have your niche picked, we're gonna go to the next step, and the next step is searching businesses in a zip code on Google Maps with a scraper that don't have a website. So this is perfect. We're gonna go ahead and make sure we use tools such as Outscraper. Now I do have this open over here. I have another video I'm gonna link right up in one of these areas, and that's gonna go ahead and show you exactly what to fill in here on Outscraper. You can use other tools, but this is the one that I found is the cheapest and gives the best results. For a quick overview, you go ahead and type in your niche, which is HVAC. Then you select what state you want. Then you go down here, make sure you get their emails and contact scraper, and then you hit get data. It's really that simple, and you're able to get thousands and thousands of contacts instantly exported into a document. And that document is what we're gonna be bringing over to our cold caller. Once we have our list in hand, we're gonna compile this list, and then we're gonna outsource this whole process of cold calling to freelancers. So how do we do that, you ask? Well, what we're gonna be using is tools such as Fiverr or Upwork. I've used both of these. In my opinion, I think that Fiverr is the better choice for this specific application, but you can use Upwork or use some other type of freelancer marketplace. Go ahead and hit cold calling, and then you get thousands and thousands of freelancers in here selling you their gig. Now, a lot of these freelancers are gonna go ahead and have a video of themselves explaining, hey, this is how I do my cold calls, and you'll get to hear their voice. Like, for example, here's a guy right here, and he's explaining what his service is, what he does, and how much it costs per each call. Something here that you want to make sure you do, I like to go ahead and schedule a demo call with these guys. Before I purchase this package here, I'm going to go ahead and reach out to him. You just hit contact me, or in the bottom left, it'll have a little page here. You're going to go ahead and say, hey, could I have 5 minutes of your time? I'd just like to get on and talk to you about my needs. They will 100% jump on a call with you, and it's a very quick thing. You can just get a feel for this person right away and see if they're a good fit. Obviously, like I said, make sure you vet the freelancer. This is very important. I like to go ahead and actually see their whole entire process and how exactly they're walking through the no calls. Do they do callback? Make sure when you're talking to these cold callers that you ask if it's per call or per answer, because that can be very drastic on the price. I've worked with a few where if one person on the list does not pick up the phone, they will do a call back. So if as they're going down their list, this person picks up, this person picks up, this person doesn't, they'll actually circle back to that at the end of their list. So trying to find someone that does that is actually really, really good, and it'll increase your success chance. This will tell you if they're a good fit or not. The more in depth that this person goes, that's really an indicator for me on how much pride they take in their job and if they're going to be a good fit for me or not. Just so we're clear here, the purpose of this cold call is not to sell. So what we do is once we find our cold caller, we're going to actually give them a Calendly link or whatever calendar service you're going to use. I know that Go High Level has one as well that you can use, but what these cold callers are doing is they're scheduling a demo call. All right. Now on the demo call, that's where you interface with these potential clients because they're interested. They have set up a further appointment with you down the line. All right. This is not an impulse buy. People are not going to pick up the phone from a cold caller and purchase something. That's why we have the cold caller set a future appointment, and then that's what we call the demo call. Just a reminder, we are not selling on this cold call. The purpose of the cold call is for the cold caller to set a future appointment, which we call a demo call, for you to go ahead and listen to the business owner's problems and issues, and then provide a solution in that call. That's where we sell, and we'll get to that in a minute. I would say that you can ask them to help develop you some type of script. The higher end cold callers will 100% do this. If you do give them a script, sometimes they'll look at it and say, hey, I don't know if this will work that great. I've done this in the past with this type of client. They'll explain to you how to modify it. Definitely listen to them when they're telling you this. They have performed thousands and thousands and thousands of cold calls, so go ahead and take their expertise on this one. Okay, the next step is the demo calls. Now, this is the fun part where we actually get to interface with potential clients that are interested in what we have to offer. The ice has already been broken by our cold caller, and they're here to interface with you. And this is where you get to make the pitch, listen to their problems, and tailor craft a solution for their business needs. Okay, so the most important part about the demo call is actually asking questions. What you really need to do here to set yourself apart is don't try to force any one type of service onto them. All right, that's a newbie mistake. What we're gonna do is we're gonna actually ask questions and just kind of listen to what their business does and what their business is about. Ask, how is your lead generation going? Where are your clients coming in from? You kind of just wanna understand how they are landing clients currently, because until we understand what they're doing right now, we won't be able to create a solution for them to improve this process. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to really sell these go high level services that have built-in automations that can help them with any dropped leads or lead nurturing. So this is where you really need to take your time, build up a little bit of a rapport, and as you're talking to them, just kind of, you could tell them, oh, I have another client in this niche, and this is kind of how we're doing it here. Is that what you guys are doing, or what have you found success in? And with this call, you definitely want to take your time and go ahead and just make sure that you're asking a lot of the right questions. Don't force or try to sell any one specific service on them. Like I said, that comes at the end. So the majority of this call is just listening to their problems, their solutions, and if they do ask about something, go ahead and provide them some detailed response, but don't get too in the weeds. This call should be about 75% them talking and only 25% you talking. If you listen correctly during this call, you will definitely hear their pain points, because as you know, as a business owner, everyone has strengths and weaknesses. Some of these strengths will be they're really good at making the close once they get the lead in, and they just are having troubles with getting the lead in, whether they don't have a website or whether they don't have a dedicated person answering phones to capitalize on all the leads that are coming in. Whatever this may be, try to narrow it down. As you're sitting there, make sure you're taking notes on what they're saying and kind of lead the conversation back to how their customer acquisition pipeline works. Where are they getting their customers from? How are they coming into their pipeline? How quickly is someone communicating with their lead as it comes in? All of these are great indicators of if they're properly doing their due diligence for their leads, because as we know, every lead needs to be contacted within 5 minutes of becoming a lead, or they lose interest completely. So that will increase your conversion rate by 3 times. So if you have an automation in place that automatically nurtures these leads with a possible missed call text back or a SMS outreach message, we can instantly break that ice and get 3 times the amount of closed leads. So this is a great thing to look for while you're inside this conversation and you're talking to the client. Like I mentioned, the purpose of this call is a discovery call. This is what we're doing. We're just trying to figure out what this business is doing and how they're running. These business owners all have issues, like I just mentioned, and they will tell them to you if you ask the right questions. Because everybody at the end of the day will want one thing. They want to make sure that they have more revenue coming in for their business. And in order to help them with that, we need to ask the questions of how the revenue is coming in, where are they getting their clients from, and how this all works inside of their business. Now, as you're talking to them, there's going to be red flags. Don't jump over them and say, oh, I can fix that for you right now with this. Just slowly put it in the back of your mind and write down a small note where you'll be able to bring it up in a few minutes with a more thorough, thought out plan. The next step after you're on this discovery call, you're listening to them, you have a few notes written down on where you think you could help this business with, and maybe, let's say for this example, you're going to help with the lead nurturing. This company isn't big enough to have multiple people sitting on phones answering calls. So what happens is this specific business owner is the only one with the cell phone, and as calls come in, if he's on a job working, he's not able to answer that. So in the back of your mind, you're thinking, okay, I'm going to sell him some type of missed call text back or some type of lead nurturing system for him, some type of automation. So what I've done here is I've actually built a graph for you guys to go through one by one. As you're talking to them, you can look at this graph and reference it, because inside of here, you can think in your head about these questions. There's about 6 of them, and these are questions you're going to slowly trickle in and ask them as you're in this call. And that will tell you if that specific service is right for this specific client. This graph is more for the newer students, but a great place for you to start and look at. At the end of the day, we're going to be creating this tailor-made solution for this client. Make sure that you're offering this as a monthly service, because what we want to do is we want to come in here and set up this automation for him, and then only really look at it when we need to, because it will be automatically running in the background. And then this is how you're able to scale and get more clients that you don't have to spend so much time working on their stuff. I've had $2,000 to $3,000 clients before, and they are a pain in my ass. They will be calling nonstop. They pretty much expect you to be part of their team. The cool thing about these smaller services that we're breaking up and selling them into a monthly subscription is that once we set up these automations, they just run. They run in the background. They're sending emails out. They're sending text messages out. So we only have to make sure that they're properly running. And if they want any type of small tweak, which is perfect for the amount of time that you're going to be investing in the client and the amount of profit that you're going to be making from them for this automation. Okay, so here's the Go High Level services that I've created. This is a simple flowchart that you can ask these questions to your potential client while you're on this demo call, because what you're going to be doing is finding out what specific service to sell them. So as you're going down this flowchart, do they have low reviews? A great thing to do is to bring up their actual website and their online presence right in front of them. All right, now this is going to do something. This is going to do one of two things. This is going to bring full awareness to their specific problem, and it will give you evidence in why their company is not getting the sales that they think they deserve. For example, if we pull up their business and we look at their reviews and they only have 7 reviews, you can go ahead and say, well, I see here that you guys only have 7 reviews. If you're able to get maybe 20, 30, 40 more reviews from us doing some review management for you guys, you'll be able to rank a lot higher on Google. So once you're ranked a lot higher on Google Maps, you're going to be automatically getting free SEO. Make sure that you sell that as a monthly subscription. I already went over the example, but the missed call text back is a great one for smaller operations where they don't have a dedicated person answering the phones, because this automatically creates something called lead nurturing, where if a potential client calls them, it comes in, they don't pick up because they're on a contract, they're on a site, it automatically shoots them a text message. So you get to keep that person as a lead, and you can start marketing to that person with other pipelines down the road, such as email or SMS. Another good one is database reactivation. If they do have very low reviews for some reason, what you can do is say, hey, how many clients do you think you've had in the past year? And let's say they tell you they've had about maybe 200. Well, you only have 11 reviews here. What we can do for you is give you a database reactivation campaign, and we have this automation built where we plug in your old clients' email addresses and we get them to leave reviews for you automatically. Now it's only going to post 4 and 5 star reviews, and then the 1 to 3 star reviews will automatically be sent into a survey to figure out why they left such a low review. Now that you can take internal, but it does not post on the Google Maps. That's another really good service to sell someone that has very low reviews, but you know that they have a lot of clients coming in. As you can see, there's many automations here. The next one would be email marketing. This is just a reference for you guys. Go ahead and take a screenshot of this, and we're going to move to the next step. Okay, once we've tailor crafted that solution, we're going to go ahead and do the closing portion of this. To close, it's very simple. You're going to pick one of the solutions below that we've talked about, and whichever one fits their company's need the best, we're going to go ahead and offer that service to them for a monthly charge, depending on what service they need. Then you're going to shut up and let them talk. Once you say the price and what service you're offering them, do not say another word. Okay? Don't try to justify it. Don't try to jump in and say, "Oh, we'll give you this and this and that." Don't try to make the sale any harder than it should be. Once you say the price and the service, let them talk. Okay? Because their objection is going to be very important to the next step of this process. Being quiet is the most important part here. So once you say the price for the service, stop talking. Okay, now, if they do have an objection, and some of these objections, they all sound different, but one of them is going to be, "That sounds pretty high for a monthly fee." Okay, then what we do is we go ahead and explain to them that the benefits of landing a few more clients and how this specific service directly ties to them bringing in more revenue. Because during your discovery call, they're going to have told you how much that their average order value or average client is paying them. Now you're going to use this not against them, but you're going to use this to help you close the deal, because you know that maybe if your service is only $300 and they're making $700, $800 profit from one client, you know that you can say, "Hey, if you land one more client this next month with this service, it'll pay for itself and more." This helps them justify spending the money, and it helps show what you're worth and how it's going to tie into increasing their overall revenue. This is a crucial step here, so don't miss this one. Okay, at this point, you're going to either have a yes or a no, and you're going to move forward with this. I will give you one more step here. The greatest thing you can do is once they do say yes, go ahead and take their credit card information right over the phone. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep them on the line, say, "Great, we'll shoot you over everything you need. Let's go ahead and charge your card and get this ball rolling." Because the sooner we can close this deal right now, the sooner we can get this up and running, and the sooner they can make more money. All right, guys. Well, I hope you've had a great time, and I hope this has been informative for you. If you want to check out any of my other videos, I go into depth on how to exactly use Outscraper, how to use Fiverr, and how to create websites and build automations inside Go High Level. All right, I'll catch you in the next one.